Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I'm going to show you how the stars are going to affect your life this week. Welcome everyone, I'm Kesenya, I'm your Astro Weather Girl, here with this week's Astro Weather Report. I want to empower you through the tool of astrology. And this week we're looking at the energies that are playing out between the 27th of November through to the 4th of December. A very interesting week astrologically. Now, keep in mind as I do this reading that this is a reading for personal passing energies that are occurring this week. This is not a mundane astrology reading where I'm looking at the big collective experience that we're all living through. There are fabulous astrologers online who are talking all about that. My specialty is personal astrology relating to you. So we're all living through difficulties at the moment because of Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn-Uranus square and Eris-Pluto square. The eclipses are playing into things now as well. But these energies are not what I'm going to be exploring, looking at the big collective experience. What I'm going to be talking about today will be more about what will affect you, generally speaking, throughout the week ahead, how you will feel and what you might encounter in the week ahead. Now, don't forget that my readings, a bit of housekeeping here, my readings are currently on sale to support anybody who's going through difficulties in these very dark times. So I've reduced my readings in some cases by up to about $50 off. So quite substantial reductions in my readings for anybody who needs some support right now. Also, I'd encourage you, if you go to my website, the link is in the description below, sign up for my waitlist for the Royal Stars Academy. This is a very in-depth astrological course that I am launching the first level of next year. It's a 4-level course. Will be done sort of over possibly 3 to 4 years, but you might be able to do it quicker than that. But generally the idea is that you will come out of this course with a certification internationally recognized in astrology. So it's very exciting to be able to offer this to you. The first level has roughly 20 hours of fabulous information teaching you the very basic foundations of astrology. The subsequent levels are going to go much more in depth, looking at greater, pertinent topics to become a world-class astrologer. So I'm very excited to launch that. If you are interested, do sign up to the waitlist and you will get the information as it begins to be launched and all the syllabus and all the costs and things like that and the recognition that you will achieve by completing this course. You'll get all the information on that as I release this information in the lead up to the launch of the first level next year. So don't miss out. Now I've also shared my December 4 new moon eclipse video for all signs with my Patreon family. Now, if you're not a Patreon and you would like to get access to this eclipse video and find out all about what it's going to mean for you, then you can join for as little as, $5. 5 euros, not $5, for as little as €5 for a month, and then you don't have to pay again. You can just join for 1 month if that's all you want. If you want to keep going, there's plenty of other information that I'll keep producing for my Patreon family. But that €5 for 1 month will get you access to the entire back catalogue. We look at Jupiter returns, we look at Anticia, we look at the fixed stars. I mean, there are some really wonderful astrological teachings available to my Patreon family there. So why not join up and get your juicy astro eclipse information on and everything else that you could possibly want to know. The link to my Patreon family is in the description below, or you can go to my website. There are links there to the Patreon family as well. So let's talk about the astrology for this week. First, before we jump into the astrology, I want to share about some really, really fascinating news that was brought to light for me this week by a girlfriend regarding Livingston Shire Council on Australia's Tropic of Capricorn. So the Tropic of Capricorn that encircles the globe has a shire in Australia situated on it called the Shire of Livingstone. Now, this local shire is the only shire in Australia to have taken a stand against the current situation. They've declared that they are pro-choice and non-conformist. Perhaps they haven't used those words, but they are going to support the health and well-being of their people over and above these mandates and etc. that are being rolled out all over the rest of Australia. And I'm so proud of this council. And when I found out that they are situated on the Tropic of Capricorn, I was like, not surprised at all. And let me tell you why. This is very, very interesting, especially for people who are into ancient astrology and mythology and how it all ties together. In ancient Mesopotamia, there were two gods. Well, there was quite a few gods actually, but the two big players were Enki and Enlil. Now, Enki carries the energy of Prometheus. If you're familiar with the story of Prometheus, he was the Greek god who brought the light of knowledge to human beings because he loved them, he cared for them, and he brought understanding and wisdom, the light of knowledge, gnosis, to humanity. In Latin, Prometheus is also Lucifer, and that Luciferian energy. Enlil, by contrast, was the energy of Jehovah. You know, think about the Jehovah energy. There will be no gods before me. I'm a jealous God. I don't want any opposition. I will wipe out free will. I will direct my people to go and fight and wipe out anyone who is not aligned with the single one God concept. And so this Yahweh, this Enlil energy was very monotheistic. And whereas the Enki energy was much more about let me give knowledge to humanity rather than setting myself up as the only God. So it's a very interesting contrast if you read about the myths of Enki and Enlil that plays out between these two. Now, what's this got to do with the Tropic of Capricorn and Livingstone Shire Council? Well, these mythological gods that were described in on ancient clay tablets in Mesopotamia, it is understood that they are a representation of the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. And the battle between Enki and Enlil was really the battle, if you like, or the movement represented by the movement of the sun between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn every year. When the sun reaches the declination of the Tropic of Cancer, we get, in the northern hemisphere, we get the summer solstice. In the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. And the days and nights are, depending on where you are in the world, at their longest or their shortest. And then the sun begins its progression back to the Tropic of Capricorn. And again, we get a winter or a summer solstice when the sun reaches that point based on wherever we are in the world, northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere. And Enlil was considered to govern the Tropic of Cancer. So when the sun was there in the realm at the Tropic of Cancer, it was under the governance of this god Enlil, the Jehovah god. When the sun reached the Tropic of Capricorn, it was considered to be under the energy of Enki. So Enki is this Prometheus gnosis character. And so I just find it utterly fascinating that the one council to stand against the tyranny of the one world government and the push toward a worldwide vaccine economy is located on the Tropic of Capricorn, governed by Enki, gnosis, knowledge, love for humanity, rather than this one world monotheistic and dominating aggressor approach represented by the Tropic of Cancer and Enlil. So I just found that so interesting, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I just had to share because to me that is fascinating and a representation of how these energies are actually working, and the ancient myths are not dead at all. They can be applied to our lives today. just on that topic, and to get you all excited, I have a video coming up in December with David Warner Matheson, who has made his life work all about this wonderful topic of mythology and the stars, and we're going to be looking at solstice energy and a lot of other terrific topics. So don't miss that wonderful interview and how it will apply to your life when that comes out in December. Now, I just want to do a very, very quick little promo, if I may. I have been gifted this amazing book. It came in the post. I was contacted by the company who sent it to me as a gift. I'm deeply humbled by that as well. This book is known as The Magic of I. And what it is, it's a calendar or a diary with all the astrological transits for each day in the coming year. Not only that, there is some amazing stuff. This is a page on moon phases. We have there's exact aspects pages. It is the ultimate calendar. There's an astro code and decan tarot wheel, planetary days and hours. It's just a wealth of information, beautifully presented, and a real way to keep an astrological diary. Not only to see what's coming up, but to note down, well, how did I feel on this day? What was the energy I experienced on this day? And what were the transits playing out? And you start to see links, and you start to see synchronicity, and you start to see connection based on keeping records like this. This is an invaluable tool as we move more into an age, the age of Aquarius, that is going to utilize astrology more so than ever before. And so this is wonderful record keeping and planning with astrology. I highly recommend it. Go to their website, The Magic of I, or The Magic of I. It's a fantastic tool, and get yourself a copy before the new year starts. Okay, so moving on, the best days this week. Remember, I'm in Australia. I'm using Australian times. If you're in the US, particularly on the west coast of the US, most of the time you can interpret this as being a day behind what I mention as being Australian time. Also, be conscious of the void of course moon and avoid instigating anything under the void of course moon. You can check out an app like iLuna to find out when the moon is void of course in your part of the world, because taking action when the moon is void of course will usually see nothing come of the endeavor. Sometimes we don't want anything to come of our endeavors, so maybe it's good to take action then. If we have to sort of confront someone and we don't want it to turn into an all-out war, then maybe it's good to take action to that end during a void of course moon. But most of the time, if we want to launch a product, if we want to start something new or instigate a connection with, a potential lover or something, it's not good to do it under the void of course moon, because nothing will come of it. So, know about the void of course moons, and then we consider the best days this week, and they're going to be the 28th and 29th of November. They're good days to reinvent yourself, to turn over a new leaf, to take action towards dissolving some sort of unwanted habit or unwanted life circumstance or unwanted belief that you have been hanging on to, and it's time for it to go. This is the chance to make a fresh start. So 28th and 29th of November. The other good days this week are the 30th of November and the 1st of December. These are good days to look optimistically at life and towards the future, and to make plans, long-term plans and dreams and aspirations, and start putting them into practice now. Thinking about the big picture, no small details. This is about being optimistic and hopeful for the future and taking action around that. So for some people, depending on your astrological chart, those days, 30th of November, 1st of December, could be very lucky and blessed. Of course, that depends what's happening in your natal horoscope, but there could be a lot of luck coming some people's direction. Now, Venus is, as I spoke about in last week's video, Venus is out of bounds all week long. And this is kind of like the conjunction of Venus and Uranus, a bit erratic, a bit unexpected. You could have, suddenly all the bills come flooding in and financially you're like feeling swamped. Or you could find out, some money that you invested years ago is actually really paying off for you now and you'd forgotten all about it. It could go either way. There's this erratic sort of burst of energy in the financial realm in some manner, or the relational realm, or your values, things that Venus governs, and the material sensory world, which are Venus governed things. There could be some sudden unexpected outcomes because Venus is out of bounds all week long. The moon is out of bounds for the eclipse on the 4th of December. So that's going to be very interesting. We're going to get sort of a highly energized effect for the eclipse with the out of bounds moon. The moon is, an out of bounds moon is often responsible for extreme popularity achieved in people's lives. So this eclipse could bring on a heightened a level of achievement or popularity or notoriety for some people. If this eclipse is playing out with points in your chart, don't forget to tune into the Patreon video to find out if it is. Then this out of bounds moon is going to be very effective in sort of bringing greater outcomes, let's say, to what occurs from the eclipse. And Mercury is out of bounds on the 3rd and the 4th of December as well, and Mercury is tied into this eclipse also, so playing in there. So as you can see, busy, out of bounds, lots of erratic energy, lots of extreme thinking and extremes with the things that Mercury rules, extremes with the things that Venus and the moon rule. So get ready. It's a big week of out of bounds planets. Now, what about this week's energy focus? Well, we're looking at an energy that's playing out on the 29th of November. This will be Mars making a trine to Neptune. So both Neptune here in Pisces and Mars here in Scorpio, they're at 20 degrees and they're making this, sorry, my pen's running out, very kindly, supportive, wonderful aspect between one another. So did I say 90 degrees? I meant to say 120 degree aspect between one another here. And that's what we know in astrology as a trine. Now, this energy, have you ever wondered what it must feel like to just ooze mystery and magnetic appeal, magnetic allure? Have you wondered what that must be like? I have, because I don't think it comes very naturally to me. But if you've ever wondered about that, this is the day, the 29th of November in Australian time. This is the day when you might find that the energy of Mars trine Neptune boosts you into that space and you're feeling super sexy, super magnetic and super mysterious, quite an exciting and fun energy. Mars trine Neptune stimulates our sensual magic, and as such it can be a very powerful transit for passionate romance to evolve. For some people who are in a situation to launch that, or in a relationship, you might just feel a bit more woo, and that could be great fun, obviously. Neptune is an energy that's tender and gentle, so our dating and sexual partners tend to exhibit these qualities under this influence, and you will also exhibit this as well. We all can, because Neptune is being activated by Mars's aspect here. So it's a wonderful energy for increasing your connection, increasing your empathy, and the spiritual unity that you share with your partner. Mars is sex. Mars rules sex. And Neptune is this compassionate, soul-matey kind of energy. So through a sexual bond and a sexual union, the lover or the partner or whatever, you could actually reach great heights of spiritual ecstasy when these two combine like this. So it's a beautiful, blessed energy to combine spirit and matter in many ways to create a higher vibrational level. So if you have the opportunity, and you're very blessed if you do have the opportunity to experience that and go into that zone, it could really be quite transformative for you. Now, if you're like me and you don't have that opportunity, then one way we can work with this, otherwise, if we don't have a partner, is to utilize our physical body to express flow, because Mars is it's our muscles, it's our energy, it's our sportiness, it's our movement, Mars, and connecting positively with Neptune, which is flow, which is beauty. So what you can do to reach that high spiritual level in combination of matter and spirit is to dance away your cares, use your body, like maybe you might like to paint something with your whole body. I think about, there was an episode of Modern Family where I think Phil and Claire got a whole body paint kit or something like that. Maybe you might like to do that in your living room and create some piece of art, because Neptune's highly creative, with your whole body. Why not? Sounds like fun. Or you could tune into the divine realm, Neptune, through maybe doing a yoga practice, a controlled movement of the muscles. So there are many ways, they're just a couple examples that I've given you, but if you think about how you can utilize your body to get into flow, to get into spirit, then there is your tick, your answer to utilizing this energy and taking it to the best advantage for yourself. Body and spirit come together. So let's look at this energy for all signs this coming week. Remember, it's playing out on the 29th of November. We're going to start with Libra, actually. Just randomly chose Libra here. So this energy is playing out between the 2nd house and the 6th house. Now, Neptune is an energy, we're going to focus mostly on the activation of Neptune by energetic Mars. Neptune doesn't want structure, it wants flow, it wants lightness of being. And the 6th house is all about routine, grounded structure, organization. So Mars here might give your Neptune the ability to strategize and work out your day. So Libra, it's going to help you organize your day, give you a daily routine, and put it into practice. So if you need to start a new diet, if you need to organize, how your day is structured, if this is the time that you can get some support from the universe to do that. You might also desire to be a very productive and maybe even a charitable member of society under this influence. However, in doing so, you're going to need to be very cruisy about it. No sort of I must do X, Y, Z and push and strive and struggle and compete to get it done. You've got to just flow with it. If you want to be a productive member of society, then let the universe take you there. Don't be sort of pushing and shoving to make things happen with work projects or with any kind of endeavors with your health. Just flow with what comes your way. Be very cruisy with the surprise twists and turns that this energy might bring you on this day. In your work life, you will also need the freedom on the 29th to come and go as you please, to work in your own unstructured manner. But there's still this energy of I want to sort of compete to get things done, but you'll be much more light with it, much more flowy with it. So that's good. It's a good day to clear any confusion that you might have, or lack of clarity or ambivalence that you might have regarding employment. So if you've been in a difficult employment situation, and a lot of us have under these heavy duty energies lately, if you've been in a difficult employment situation, not knowing what to do, and you're Libra rising, you've got Neptune transiting your 6th house, and you're like, I don't know, I feel misty and foggy about my purpose and my direction, how I'm meant to work, what I'm meant to do, I don't know. If you're feeling that way, then Mars making a trine to Neptune can clear that up for a day or two. And you can get some clarity, you can get some structure. Mars is a strategy planet, and so you can get some strategy. Okay, now I know what I want to do with my, daily routine, daily life, and my employment, and I'm going to take this step, this step, this step to do it. So it's a very good day to strategize the future for you with employment, because Mars is going to be sort of clearing the fog of Neptune a little on this day, which is a real bonus. So another thing you can do to clear any lack of clarity or ambivalence in your life in general is to do physical exercise. This is the 6th house is connected to our exercise routines as a part of our daily structure. So the 1st house can be connected to our body and exercise that enhances the body, but this is exercise as part of our daily structure when it's in the 6th house. So Mars trining Neptune here can say, look, let's put some, as I spoke of in the introduction, let's do some physical exercise that gets us, that helps us clear lack of clarity, clear ambivalence, clear misunderstandings. So I'm going to go for a run and clear my head, or I'm going to dance away the heavy sort of negative attitude I might be carrying, or I'm going to swim to sort of lighten the energy that's within me. I'm going to do some martial arts. Mars is martial arts, making a trine to Neptune, and Neptune is that flow. And we know that a lot of martial arts, there's a certain flow to how they execute their martial arts, people who are into that. So what can we do if we're Libra rising? We can do physical exercise to clear the fog, and we can make strategies for our future employment to clear the fog as well. So all in all, a great energy for Libra this week. All right, moving along. If we are Scorpio rising, sun or moon people, well, obviously Mars is in your first house and you have Neptune moving through the fifth house. So the fifth house where we're focusing our attention this week is all about romance and love and soulmates. Neptune here might give you some very romantic and sexual experiences that occur because, as I said in the introduction, and do listen to the intro, it will help you understand this so much better. But this energy could be really an opportunity for you to have a heightened sexual experience with your lover, with your partner. And this will include romance, and this will include the sort of divine state of love and ecstasy with a partner. This is one of the houses of sex. There are a few. Mainly we focus on the 8th house, but this one too, because this is the house of pleasure and things that bring us joy and romance and love, and those things are very much tied into our sexual experience, or we would like them to be most of the time. Maybe not all the time, but we want them to be most of the time. So just to sum up, for Scorpio, it's looking good for you to maybe have a very wonderful sexual experience or a romantic experience at the very least with this energy. You might have some very high ideals about your relational inclinations under this energy. That's okay. Neptune is not known for having its feet on the ground, being realistic. Mars is going to just allow that to, it doesn't mean that you're going to suddenly have some dude's going to ride up on a white horse and carry you off to his castle in the clouds or something like that. It's not that sort of Disney princess energy. It's much more earthy with Mars making a positive aspect. But your ideals, even if they aren't met, and Neptune transiting the fifth house can give us way over the top ideals about love and romance. So be wary of that. But the Mars connection is going to, even if you've got these high ideals, you're still going to be satisfied with the earthiness of whatever occurs on this day, and it will still feel good to you and it'll feel right to you. So the aim with this combination is to connect to divine love and to avoid cynicism, avoid negativity towards romance and love, despite any sufferings that you might have endured in these things through your life. So don't close your heart to love if you're a Scorpio person. Don't sort of go down that terrible rabbit hole of nobody loves me and I'm not attractive anymore, I'm getting older and people don't like me and blah, and then you go down this stupid rabbit hole that's so debilitating. Don't allow yourself to go there. This is not the energy for taking you into that rabbit hole, by the way, but what I'm trying to say is don't close your heart to love, Scorpio. Learn from your mistakes and be willing to try and move forward, because it will be a very satisfying day for you if you do so. Try not to allow your mind to keep living in false illusions, believing that, certain things, and allow whatever is happening in reality to give you a blessing, a boost, some sparkle, okay? So you can fall in love with both a person's soul and their physical appearance under this energy and their sexual appeal, because this is a nice combination. Now, if you've got other things going on in your chart, maybe the eclipse triggered something in your chart and somebody comes into your life and you meet this lover or, new wonderful person and you fall in love with them. Well, under this particular energy on this day, like I said, there will be a soul attraction and a physical attraction that combine. Who wouldn't want that? That sounds perfect, You can also, if you are involved in anything creative, like if you're a musician or an artist or even if you are doing spiritual work that involves creativity, then you can be highly activated. You'll probably be energized to produce amazing works now that sort of, you get that hit from the divine, that like you start to write poetry and it's just coming through you, quick as a wink, or you're writing songs for a new album or something like that. And the song lyrics are just coming to you and the melodies, and it's all just there, and it feels like it's coming from another place, which is very much Neptune in the fifth house. But the Mars aspect is activating that, energizing it, giving it a boost, a rocket launch. So very exciting. So yeah, if you are in a creative field, you could really accomplish some great things under this energy. You might be sort of taking positive action, because Mars is action, towards your compassion. Neptune for children, or working with child empowerment or rescue or child advancement organizations. You might get very interested in that under this energy. Neptune dissolves boundaries too, and with this position there might be a need to focus on being very discriminatory, just back to this the sexual attraction thing, being very discriminatory with partners. You don't want to be, sorry I'm jumping around a bit, I should have collated my thoughts better, but there might be less discernment about your sexual connections, even though this is a positive aspect. So do keep your wits about you on that topic. Yes, so sexuality, relationships, love, and almost a psychic increased creative expression that could manifest in your life for Scorpio people. Okay, thank you Scorpio for putting up with my confusing description there. Sagittarius, rising, sun or moon. Oh, get ready guys, because you've got the eclipse happening in your sign. Ooh, it's going to be exciting. But this in this little segment we're going to be looking at the energy of Mars, trine, Neptune here. And Neptune's obviously in the 4th house. This is a very supportive aspect for taking action to restore any broken relationships that you might have with family members or parental figures. So, Mars is arguments, but when it's making a positive, helpful trine to Neptune, compassion, you can actually take the step to regenerate or repair some kind of broken relationship. Now, what's very interesting when I talk about regeneration, Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio and therefore by association the 8th house. So Mars in olden times was the ruler of regeneration. Now that title goes to Pluto, but Mars used to have that Guernsey. So in that sense, there is this opportunity with Mars here to restore, as I say, and regenerate a relationship that's been a bit fractious if you're Sagittarius. So if you need to make the most of that energy, go for it on the 29th of November. You'll need to express compassion to your family, though, without becoming the savior or an enabler of their problems. And that can be hard to do sometimes, finding that balance of connection with family without being their enabler or their savior or being a martyr to them or something like that. And Neptune transiting the 4th house can bring out those sorts of things. So be conscious and aware of that. You want to love and heal broken relationships. You don't want to be their enabler. Okay. Another thing that's very good for Sagittarian people is to take some exercise, something Sagittarians rather enjoy. Take some peaceful exercise near water to feel the benefits. Now, this could be yoga by the lake or stretching on a beach or walking along a river. This will be, it's calming and peaceful and meditative for everybody. We know that, to do those things. I've got to tell you though, my natal chart doesn't gear itself to doing that kind of stuff. Like, I can't meditate and, doing yoga, I don't mind, but it's not my favorite form of exercise, So not everybody is geared to that. And if you saw my chart, you'd know why that's the case. But what I'm saying here is that this day, on this 29th of November, the energy is going to be supportive for all of you Sagittarian people, regardless of what your natal chart is like, to actually have a bit of a dip in the whole idea of maybe doing yoga or meditation or what have you. It's positive for that. So seek out some sort of activity that is meditative and peaceful and brings you that state through your exercise. You might also be able to undertake some work around your home at this time, and it's really like Mars is to use tools. So you could be using tools around your house to, fix an old guttering or something. You could do it that way, but really what we're looking at here is work using tools to glamorize your home and to make it more beautiful, to make your domestic space more beautiful. Because Neptune is this fantasy element, it's glamour, it's the fairy tale-like kind of energy, and it's creativity. It's a higher octave of Venus, so there's a bit of beauty going on there with Neptune. And so here is Mars, wanting to do some tools and some fixing and that sort of thing to bring more glamour and beauty in the domestic environment, 4th house there. So one thing I do want to say though, even with a trine, Mars can still bring accidents. Mars is the energy of accidents. So just be careful of water damage or gas leaks to properties that could come through an accident, on this day. Be aware of hidden property problems as well, particularly if you're purchasing a new home around this time. Make sure you double check the Neptune issues, gas leaks, oil leaks, water damage, that stuff, plumbing. So make sure you get those double checked if you're looking at buying a house around this day. And of course, Mars is real estate agents. So real estate agents can be very helpful and supportive in sorting out any of those problems that you might encounter with a particular property as well. Bonus. Okay, Capricorn rising, sun or moon people. You have the energy of Mars making a beautiful, healthy trine to Neptune in Pisces, occurring directed towards your third house. So this is a time when you can be very inspired to maybe write some poetry. Now, Neptune is poetry in the house of communications and energized by Mars. So your thinking will also at this time be very intuitive. This is the house of the mind, imaginative, creative. We get sort of an activation, an empowerment of Neptune in the third house through Mars's aspect here. So you have actually, because of this, the capacity to impact others with your words now. Your words can be assertive and powerful, Mars, but well received and kindly at the same time. Beautiful combination if you need to communicate something, if you need to address an issue, if you need to give a speech, your words are going to be powerful and well received. Wonderful. So there could be a big tendency towards daydreaming here, to get lost with the butterflies in your head, and why not do it? Neptune only transits through, in this case, the third house sort of once in your life. So why not enjoy all that mental escapism that Neptune likes to bring? But there's a beautiful high level of creative artistry that comes with this aspect as well. I've already said poetry, but it could be creative arts, creative writing, fine art, music, playing an instrument. This is the skills of our hands. So, painting with our hands, playing the saxophone with our hands, writing, like literally writing with our hands, or if you're old school typewriter or modern keyboard, using the hands to create can be very much energized in your life under this particular energy of this day. You will, however, have an extreme sensitivity to what others are communicating to you now. You'll pick up on the feelings and the intent behind their actions as well. So they might say something but be behaving or sending out an aura of a different message. You will pick up on that. You will see their actions and be able to go, hang on, that doesn't line up. Or you'll see feel their aura, their energy, their the energy they're emitting behind the words, and be able to perceive what's actually going on. So people's communications to you, you're going to be very sensitized to what the truth actually is here, not just the words that they are using. There's a lot of compassion that you might have towards your siblings under this energy. It's good to take action again to restore any broken relationships with siblings under this energy, as I just mentioned for the Sagittarius rising people. Mars was the ancient ruler of Scorpio and associated therefore with the 8th house, which is all about restoration and rebirthing. So Mars used to rule that sort of thing, and making a connection to compassion and forgiveness with Neptune. If there is a need to address that sort of thing with a sibling or even a neighbor as well, or some sort of teammate, then this is the day to take action regarding restoring a broken relationship. So be as honest as possible with your words and communications. If we don't do that, especially while Neptune's in the third house, we tend to attract back to us lying and deceit. If we give it out, then we get it back. It's a mirror kind of energy, the Neptune here. So watch your words, and what you dish out, you will receive, good or bad. No mixed signals now. No shonky business deals under this energy. No manipulating your family or your friends for your own gains either, or you're going to cop it back from the universe as a response. So forewarned, forearmed with that one. But generally, it's a lovely, lovely energy that you can utilize. Aquarius rising, sun or moon people. Well, for you lovely friends, you have the energy of Neptune in Pisces second house making an aspect to Mars in Scorpio by trine. So what we're seeing here is that there could be some self-esteem issues. That's just Neptune moving through the second house generally. That's what it can trigger. Worthiness issues that maybe affect our finances now. But because of Mars's beautiful trine, you're going to have the energy and the strategy, Mars's energy, to confront any issues with deservability and take action to change them right now. So it might require some assessment. Okay, where am I not valuing myself? Where is my worthiness not being honored in a certain financial situation? Right, take action. Put a strategy in place to change that dynamic. It's a good day for doing that. So you might be afraid to ask for the money that you deserve at work or for the work that you do, but this energy is going to help you learn to appreciate yourself and assert yourself or demand your worth, to not allow others to take advantage of you. So that's really, really good actually, because you can stand up and assert yourself, Mars, and it's going to come across really well, compassionately, kindly. People aren't going to get the wrong idea that you're some sort of bully or, self-obsessed freak, They're going to see, oh yeah, they do. Look, they're demanding that certain level of return or remuneration for their work that they do. Fair enough. And yeah, I think I agree with them. So if you need to sort of stand up and say that, it's a good day for doing that, for not allowing other people to take advantage of you and for asserting yourself to get what you're worth. Visualize yourself. Neptune, visualize yourself with all the money that you need. Imagine yourself having all the financial success that you deserve, all the appreciation you deserve, all the, the valuing that you hunger for. Imagine that, because this is highly activating this beautiful trine. So the more that you can tap into that, experience and sort of generate that visualization, the more it can manifest in reality. Now, if you're able to keep your hope and your belief and your love throughout the financial struggles that are present for a lot of us at this time, financial struggles, but also self-esteem struggles and your sense of value as well. If you can keep your energy positive and the vibration high, then you might find that magic happens for you, because Neptune is magic. And Neptune, when we keep it at a high vibration, is very divinely inspired. So, you could get a divine inspiration under this energy for how to solve a problem, because Mars is kind of associated with fixing things. It's all about tools and what we do with tools, which is to fix things. You might find that magic happens for this realm if you utilize your courage. Mars is courage. If you courageously take a step forward, then you might manifest magical financial success or a stronger sense of self-love, or create in your life beautiful, refined material possessions. Now, a lot of us have been going through a realization of how little we need to be happy in life due to, in Australia, due to a lot of people losing their jobs or not being able to function normally in society and so on. It's quite terrible what's going on, but we've realized we don't need all those material things. And if you are an Aquarius rising and you're coming to that realization, this is very much it's very much Neptune in the second house, where we go to a more divine, spiritualized level with our possessions. So Mars making a healthy trine on this day can help activate that in your life as well, this realization that I have all that I need to be happy. Possessions can sometimes, with Neptune moving through the second house, appear and disappear by magic. I would encourage you again to visualize, create a vision board, like Mars' strategy. So use that energy of Mars to strategize by creating a vision board for what you want with regard to material goals, material things, and anything that enhances your sense of self-worth. Okay, so that's Aquarius rising, sun or moon. Now, beautiful Pisces rising, sun or moon friends. Neptune has been in our first house for a little while there. And we've got a beautiful trine from Mars coming to our first house this week. Now, if we are of the more mature variety of person, and I'm sure you all are, this can actually be an energy that sensitizes us and makes us more emotional, and we're quite emotionally sensitive as it is, Pisces. So this heightened emotional sensitivity can actually push us and drive us into physical expressions of creativity and spirituality. Art, music, dance, yoga, spiritualism, or psychic practices that connect us to divine love. So it's going to come as a result of our sensitivity that lifts us into a productive state. Mars is a highly productive energy. So we, as Pisces people, we're going to be producing more of those things in the world. Those productive, spiritual, and creative energies will emanate from us. So the goal here with this aspect playing out in our first house is to actually connect to divine love. So, you know, it will do whatever it has to do to accomplish the connection to divine love that wants to come through for us now, Pisces. For some people, that can sometimes express as difficulties. You know, we might have challenges and obstacles that push us into connecting to the divine or reaching out to the divine. For others, it will be through transcendence and higher realm experiences on this day. So there's going to be, it might not be the big catalyst, life-changing events, but there'll be subtle little events that will help you to transcend or take another step up the ladder of enlightenment, so to speak. So things could feel a little bit out of hand. You might, you know, it's like we don't have any control over things while Neptune's moving through the first house, and Mars can bring sort of sudden changes too. So we might experience sudden magical events that seem like some divine hand is pulling the strings of our life, and yet it feels totally out of control of us as well. We need to let go and let God, and you know, Pisces, we're very good at that. So channel that, Pisces, let go and let God. Allow yourself to feel whatever you need to feel. There's no point in fighting any of these influences under this energy. You know, if we let go, the manifestation that wants to come through, Mars is a manifesting energy, you know, the manifestation that wants to come through will be so much easier. So what I'm trying to say here in this point is let go, let God, and allow your emotional, mental, energetic state of being to be what it is. Accept it, love yourself no matter how you're feeling and what you're experiencing with this highly sensitized energy. It will be for your greater good. Now, also, Pisces, you might find yourself clearing things out of your life under this energy, getting rid of any unnecessary possessions or removing toxic people. This is healthy. Now, for me, this has been going on. Actually, I've been in this zone of spring cleaning my house and sending a lot of stuff to the op shop or the thrift shop because we just don't need what we've thought we did anymore, and we want to lighten our load. And as I said, this is very healthy under this energy. There's an energy here with Mars of actively taking action to dissolve boundaries that are keeping you from God. And in the material realm, as I said, Mars can be a very manifesting material planet. In the material realm, what has been, in my example, keeping me from feeling lighter is too much clutter, too much stuff, too much focus on the material. And we really want to now move into, or I do, feeling closer to God. So I'm clearing that stuff out of my life. Now, as I said, it might not be unnecessary possessions. It could be toxic people that need to go. Whatever is keeping you from manifesting unconditional love, Mars is going to give you the impetus to get rid of it, to clear, to release, and to lighten your load. So that sounds really lovely. Aries rising sun or moon people. The energy of Neptune making a beautiful harmonious trine with Mars is playing out through the 12th and the 12th and the 8th house. So this is going to be very, it's going to be very powerful for you. there might be a powerful opportunity for you to take action on something behind the scenes, because the 12th house is hidden things, mysterious things, and so is the 8th house. So Mars is to take action, and you might be taking action on something behind the scenes, something that will impact others perhaps in subtle subconscious ways that you are being involved in or taking action on. Maybe that has to do with finances. Maybe it has to do with a relationship. But whatever it is, you might be working on something behind the scenes. I know there's a lot of people in Australia working on some behind the scenes things right now to try and overcome the tyranny. So that kind of thing could be very strong if you're an Aries. And remember, Aries is the warrior energy, so get in there and do it. You might experience very active, powerful dreams and even powerful omens under this energy. It's a very heightened energy for that today. It's a good idea if this is you to go and get some sort of a psychic reading or a tarot card reading or an astrology reading, if you know an astrologer who can do you an instantaneous reading on the spot, which is not me. My bookings require a couple of weeks wait, unfortunately, for people with urgent things. But those Aries people who need to know now, this energy can bring you those omens and that clarity through very strongly on the 29th. So book in for somebody. I would encourage you to actively protect your energy as well, because these are very highly spiritual areas of the chart that are being activated for you. And Mars, as I said, Aries is a warrior energy, but Mars, your ruler, is a warrior energy as well. So put that visualize that shield around you, protecting you in the spiritual realms. Or you might like to visualize maybe an ancient god or goddess who is your avatar, your hero who goes with you. Whatever works for you to sort of powerfully protect yourself in the subconscious realms. It's a good idea. Protect yourself with divine and angelic energy today. And visualize yourself, as I've kind of just alluded to, with spiritual weaponry to fight evil energies in the universe at this time. Above all other signs, Aries, you can successfully fight a spiritual battle for humanity today. So it is so powerful for Aries to do some work on this day for the masses, for the humanity, for the state of the world. Arm yourself. I think there's a biblical verse that talks about putting on the breastplate of righteousness and the sword of the Spirit and things like that. So, you don't have to be into the Bible to arm yourself mentally with weaponry to fight a spiritual fight. So this is actually the energy for doing that. To take time, sit down, visualize, and see yourself being weaponized to fight for justice and truth as a true noble warrior should. And also, why not do it for everybody else in your sphere, everybody else in your world? Do it for me, do it for, Lada, Danshiva, do it for every other person out there trying to shine and share light in the darkness. Visualize warrior energy and protection for them as well. You have the power, Aries, to be a real blessing under this energy. So please do. So if you need, Aries, to retreat and take a break from ordinary reality, do so in active ways on the 29th. Go for a swim, go for a walk, do hot yoga, create something. This will help to restore balance in you in a way that fits with the energy that's playing out. So make the most of that. Enjoy. Taurus rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Neptune making a trine with Mars in Pisces to Scorpio and Scorpio to Pisces is playing out in the 11th house and the 7th house. So what a fascinating position this one is. With this position, it's about friends, and you can take a lot of action to connect with your friendships now in loving, generous, and supportive ways. You might even be actively being compassionate with your friends. Might be providing a shoulder to cry on and lean on. You might take action to, maybe you bake your friend who's going through a rough time a casserole and take that to them, or you do some kindly charitable action of love for a friend under this energy. And the 11th house represents benefactors as well as friends and our bigger social circles. So we can be bringing a lot of compassion to some large social group, or supporting in some way our benefactors, people who are kind to us. We're kind of giving it back and energizing them. So that give and take energy, which is really lovely. And it's also very possible that on this day, the 29th of November, that these people will be supporting you. You know, they might be blessing you. They might be taking action to give to you. Your friends can be a source of upliftment for you because they're using their energy to bless you as well. Friends and energization come together here. So that unconditional love, Neptune in the 11th house, flows back to you. Neptune is sort of the energy of a mirror in many ways. So if there is a need to forgive a friend or to create some kind of a restoration with a friend, then this is the day to do so. Mars will energize you and activate you to do so. But Mars is also the ancient ruler of Scorpio, associated with the 8th house of restoration and rebirth. So you could rebirth a friendship here. You could restore a friendship here. You will be able to take action and it will be kindly received and compassionately felt. So if there is a need for that restoration, do so under this energy. And forgiveness is a very Neptunian thing. So being able to forgive a friend is a big part of this energy as well. We've got to keep believing that people are good at heart, even when they give indications to the contrary. That seems to be a theme in Australia right now, perhaps in other parts of the world, with the highly divided society that has been created through the media and the political arena. So, you know, keeping that idea that others are good at heart and they actually do only want the best, hard to cling to, but yeah, let's try and go there if we can, Taurus. And you're very good at that anyhow, Taurus. This is an energy for being able to handle confrontation well with friends and with social groups and with big collective situations. So if you need to go on a protest march or something, this is a good energy to do so, because it's an energy for taking action on a humanitarian cause that will go well or have magical results even. So it's a good day to take action if you're looking to join a humanitarian cause or a protest or political movement of some description. Now, this position is also about your dreams and wishes. So this is having this beautiful combination playing out in your life. You can wish for the moon, and why shouldn't you? You know, this is magical Neptune in the blessed 11th house. It's one of those beautiful wealth yoga houses when it's in appropriate combination with other things. And so the 11th house is a gift here. Why shouldn't you dream and visualize? Neptune, to visualize, to dream, to aspire to something for the best for humanity and the best for you and the best for the world, because Mars could energize that visualization to come into being. So go there and embrace those utopic dreams. Utopic dreams that might have to do with establishing communities where people are connected and empowered and living in harmony with one another, living in harmony with nature. Go there. The desire with this particular energy on this day might be very strong for you to join some sort of utopic society. Your dreams and wishes could expand you in some way, and it could be a very transformative day where you are inspired and energized to move into those sorts of idealistic realms and wonderful utopic realms, as I said. Okay, Gemini rising, sun or moon people, the energy of Mars and Neptune making a trine to one another is falling out in the 10th house to the 6th house. So what we're seeing here is an activation of the ability to take action to alleviate confusion now, with maybe a career or a vocation of some sort. Neptune, when it's transiting, and I'll vouch for this, I've got it natally in my chart, but Neptune, when it's moving through the 10th house, can make you a bit like, I don't really know what I should do with my life. What's my purpose? What career should I have? I feel foggy. I feel misty. There's a few things I could do. I don't know which one I want to choose. It's this really ambiguous kind of energy regarding career. But Mars is going to clear up a lot of the fog that might have been present for a lot of Gemini people over the last few years since Neptune's been in here. So this is a day when you can get some clarity on what you should do with your purpose, your mission, your career in life. Remain receptive. Go with the flow. Follow where the universe leads. Very Neptunian on this day. Follow your heart and trust it on the 29th. Mars trine to Neptune is going to give you a strong intuition that's for your good, that can, energize you in the positive. So it's a time for inspiration and creativity and going with the flow in your career too. You need to trust any omens that come, any signals that come from God, very Neptune in the 10th house, that are indicating the right path for you. Be aware, be open to following these directions, and then action your inspiration. Mars is going to help move you forward. He's a strategist. He's like the general of the army, and he's going to say, right, time to move on, that desire of your heart, and he'll give you the right strategy to move forward to what you really want. So it's also a good time to get a male mentor to assist in giving you structure and to make sure that you achieve your worth under this influence. Mars is the masculine energy. So if you need to find somebody who can guide you or give you some mentorship, it's great energy for that. You could experience some ebbs and flows of passion in regard to career, ideals. So keep your visions, keep your dreams, no matter how much people poo-poo your romanticism or your idealistic approach to something, keep that beautiful spiritual divine energy at the forefront with regard to career perspectives. Don't take chances with authority figures or governments under this energy. Be the highest moral manifestation that you possibly can with this particular energy. Creative careers can really flourish. If you're in a career as a healer or a medical professional or a spiritual professional or in some sort of mystical profession, even if you're a farmer, Neptune is connected to farmers. They flow with the energy of, what'll I do today? Okay, well, this needs doing and that needs doing. They go with the flow. If you're in a field that maybe has to do with charity work or marketing or advertising, if you're a poet, if you're an actor, if you're a singer, Neptunian careers can be highly inspired and energized under this influence on this day. So there's this fabulous ability to creatively resolve any cloudy issues that you might have with bosses or parents or authority figures on this day. Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio, also associated with the 8th house. Mars is connected to that, and therefore he has the energy of restoration. So if you've had a bit of a feisty relationship with a boss or a fatherly figure or an authority figure, this is the time to take action to restore that relationship. Your action will be received compassionately, and you can achieve that energy of restoration. So moving along from Gemini energy to Cancer energy, and under this influence, Cancer, we are seeing Mars trining Neptune in the 9th and 5th house. Hey, lucky houses for Cancer people. So this is a positive placement, especially with Neptune in the 9th. This position can be one where miracles are the result, and miracles that come through the power of your beliefs. So they will always result from your initiation first on an energy day like this, because Mars is our initiation. Mars is the action that we take. Not what comes to us from outside, but what we drive. So your initiation can bring you a miracle on this day. Yay! So don't be afraid to take a risk or to step out, move out of your comfort zone, or action your beliefs, because that is what can cause a miracle to happen in your life. Belief and action combining to give you a very potentially surprising outcome. So fantastic for Cancer people. Now, it's also a time for being quite independent in your beliefs today. Don't give away your power to other human beings on this day. Don't be swayed by other people's opinions. Trust in your own divinity. That's a message of this particular aspect. Trust in your own divinity. It will not lead you wrong. Your own intuition will not lead you wrong. Your own beliefs are as valuable as anybody else's. No matter how much the media tries to shove something down your throat, you are entitled to have your beliefs and stick in that power today. So you can act from virtuous motives today, Cancer people. This is highly virtuous energy, Neptune in the ninth house particularly, which is our ethics and our morals. And Neptune at its highest vibrational level is very compassionate and kindly. So you can act from this compassionate, kindly place, motivating you with your actions, Mars. And you can also benefit under this influence from foreigners or people in foreign lands, or taking foreign travels if you're so blessed to be able to do so. You can also benefit from higher learning opportunities where some new beginning is initiated, because Mars does have to do with new beginnings, is that initiatory step. And so taking a new beginning in a field of higher learning, like signing up to my wait list perhaps for the Royal Stars Academy, great thing to do. That's a form of higher learning. Taking an action step can really benefit you with regard to some higher learning opportunity or some connection with foreign cultures, as I said. So there's a restlessness, though, that comes with this energy, a longing to travel to exotic places or get involved in more utopic belief systems. So that restlessness is there. We're feeling it. It's actually a really good day to action those motivations. If you've been thinking, hey, I need to take a trip to New Zealand or Australia, well, I would suggest waiting until we're a bit nicer a country to visit than we are at the moment. But take an action step on this day. Price out that airplane ticket or that cruise or whatever it is. If you're feeling that restlessness, take some action. You might be surprised with some miraculous opportunity. Oh, wow, the fares on the P&O cruise liner, they're half price because we haven't had much tourism, so we can get things at a discounted rate. Check it out. You might be very surprised where this energy of restlessness leads you into some positive, lucky, beneficial outcome. Sounds good, Cancer. All right, Leo rising, sun or moon people. The energy of Neptune trining to Mars in Scorpio Pisces is falling for you in the 8th house. That's where we're focusing with this little breakdown. So this is an extremely psychic and spiritual position, Leo. This is where we can action spiritual activities and psychic activities. Mars is action and energization here to the 8th house, Neptune. So astral travel, paranormal experiences, they could come very easily on this day. I mean, some of us are more inclined that way natally than others. But for most Leo people, this opportunity will be available to you. Beware, though, if you do go into those sorts of active spiritual realms, then you need to be very careful of predatory influences and the more negative occult energies. So before you go into that sort of environment, if that's something you want to do on this day, learn protective techniques before you allow yourself to experience those things. Put some prayer, visualization, surround yourself with angelic or divine energy. Do the Mars warrior thing and arm yourself spiritually and visually and mentally with protection in the divine realm. It's a good day for doing that. And even if you don't intend to sort of jump into active spiritual participation like that, it is still a good idea to arm yourself. Visualize you arming yourself, because this is very much one of those, there's two big houses of spiritual energies, and this is one of them. And the spiritual warfare thing is massive at the moment, and it doesn't hurt, Leo, to protect yourself from spiritual attack, from psychic attack, and this is an energy where you're going to be very empowered by protecting yourself. You might visualize a force field around you or around your home and family members or something. You can absolutely do that and be empowered by that on this day. So courageously addressing issues that might be present, like with any succession planning or inheritance concerns, are a good idea. This is succession planning and inheritance, the 8th house. And Mars, if you've been having some fractious kind of issues with dealing with a will or something like that, Mars trining Neptune on this day is going to allow you to assert yourself, put your foot down and say what you need to say, and it's going to be received very positively. It's going to be received with receptivity. It's going to be received with compassion. So absolutely, if this is an issue you've been dealing with, utilize this energy to your advantage. People will be less likely to be offended by your requests, and they will appreciate your upfront approach now. So some people might find some sort of a positive yet hidden surprise regarding a partner's finances on this day. It could come out of the blue, but it generally will be a positive circumstance or a positive outcome. The 8th house is a house of conspiracy theories, which is probably why I am interested in, getting to the bottom of those things. 3 planets in the 8th house will do that to a person. The conspiracy theories can pop up today that might challenge your understanding and present an alternative view today. And because of the positive nature of this aspect, it's not going to be a deceptive theory that comes through. It's going to be something that you can sort of, I wouldn't say trust, but that you can sink your teeth into as having a bit of meat to it, a bit of substance to it. So it's an exceptional opportunity, this particular energy on this day, to experience divine bliss through sex as well. So, I'm a Leo sun. It would be very nice if I had that opportunity. I don't think I'm going to get it though, but sorry, I shouldn't go there. But this is not about sex for just body connection, but it's connection to the divine, connection to the soul. And I love this energy because Mars is our sexual activity. Desire is a Venus thing. Mars is how we action desire, passion for somebody, hunger for somebody, in that physical realm. Mars represents that energy. Neptune is about soulmates, higher love, divine manifestation of connection. And so when you've got this beautiful, bountiful trine moving between these 2 planets that take us to, both of them can take us to very ethereal realms in different manner, through the physical and the spiritual, when they are connecting like this and focusing in this case on the house of our sexual life, oh my goodness, it can be euphoric. And sex with a partner that you're deeply in love with and deeply connected to can take you to a whole new spiritual plane. So if you are in such a blessed position as to have that in your life, then enjoy the energy of this day. It's a gift. It's a blessing. Absolutely beautiful. Lap it up, Leo. You are a sign that really enjoys love. So yeah, this could be just the thing for Leo people. Virgo rising, sun or moon people. Well, the energy that is playing out between Mars and its trine to Neptune in Pisces on this day is focusing on your 7th house, Virgo. And so what does this mean? Well, sometimes Neptune in the 7th house can be an indicator that we see relationships, all relationships, business partnerships and committed personal relationships and so on, through rose-colored glasses. That can happen, but remember this is a positive aspect between Mars and Neptune. So you might find that you are sexually attracted to a partner, perhaps not a business partner, more likely a personal partnership, and you might sort of get into a state of fantasy or idolization with them that's actually really positive. It can be very beautiful. Don't allow yourself, Neptune's transiting through this area of your chart for quite some time, don't allow yourself to sort of lose out on material happiness with a partner because you're lost in a fantasy land and you're living in some ideal that just doesn't exist. A state of permanent bliss cannot exist in a relationship. Sooner or later you've got to come back down to ground level and engage with reality. So you might be dreaming of the fantasy and expecting the fantasy while Neptune's moving through here, but that's not going to be in your best interest. However, what Mars is doing with the trine is blowing away those rose-colored glasses and helping things to clear, getting rid of the fogginess and helping you to see reality in a beautiful way. This is not a harsh experience. This is an experience or an energy that can be very, very uplifting and empowering because you're combining the reality of life, the earthiness, the earthbound energy of life in the third dimension, with this beautiful utopic fanciful energy of Neptune, and you're getting this beautiful balance of the two, and it's driving its energy or focusing its energy on your existing relationship with a partner, or maybe a partner that wants to come in as well. It's less likely, so as I said, we're blowing away the fantasies and enjoying the reality with relationships under this energy, but you'll also be less likely to allow your partners to take advantage of you under this transit. You'll have the courage, Mars, and the willpower and the assertiveness to stand up to a partner who is taking advantage of you, and in doing so, your assertion will be very well received by your partner, will be compassionately received. So if there's a problem to resolve in a relationship, if there's something that needs addressing, this is the day to do it. Put yourself out there, take that initiatory step and lay it on the table, because it's going to be well received. Wonderful. So any relationships though, where you are being the savior for another person, that needs to be assertively dealt with as well. You know, compassion is wonderful, and we know that you're capable of tremendous compassion, beautiful Virgo people. But enabling and this savior complex where you've got to go in and be the hero in somebody else's life, this is not this is not healthy in relationships. And so Mars is going to be that warrior energy that says, you know, I can put a stop to this. No more savior for other people. No more enabling other people. I'm going to stop this. So it gives this clarity where we may have been quite foggy, and we can become aware of the weaknesses of our partner and realistic about their ability to be healed or saved or changed, and we can take action to change our behavior where required. I wouldn't suggest trying to change the partner. That never works. Just change yourself. So Mars is going to give you the clarity where there may have been fogginess, and he's going to give you the ability to take action to bring that change about. So if there's also a need to dissolve contracts with any sort of romantic partners or business partners, this is a good energy to negotiate that situation, as I've just described, because you can actually walk away with a winning hand. It's not necessarily the house of divorce. That's more the 6th and the 8th house. But if you need to dissolve a contract, and Neptune can be leading you that way when he's transiting through the 7th house, Neptune's energy is to dissolve, and this is the house of contracts, then this is a good negotiation day. This is a good deal-making day. And as I said, you can walk away with a winning hand. So that's our flit around the horoscope for this week. I hope this has been a blessing for you. Let's close, as I always do, with a prayer. Energy of love, these are interesting times. We are part of what will be an apocryphal era of history. Help us to channel love and righteousness, and to fight on the side of spiritual blessing for humanity, in all that we do, in all that we say, in how we relate to other people, in the actions we undertake. Give us wisdom, give us love, help us to remain in hope and faith for righteousness to prevail. And so it is. Thank you one and all for joining me. I will have another Astro Weather Report for you next week.